Are the foods sitting in your kitchen right now quietly damaging your heart, weakening your immune system, and putting you at serious risk for infections you can no longer fight off the way you could 20 years ago? In the next 15 minutes, you'll discover exactly which 5 foods, 5 drinks, and 5 meals are especially dangerous after 70, and I'll give you the simple swaps that protect your health starting today. Plus, I'll reveal the one seemingly healthy food that Harvard researchers warn could be interfering with your medications right now, making them either dangerously ineffective or potentially toxic. Betty, a healthy 72-year-old from Cincinnati, couldn't understand why she felt weak and dizzy for nearly 3 weeks straight. Her doctor discovered a severe infection from contaminated food she'd been eating regularly, believing it was perfectly safe for her age. Within just 5 days of eliminating these specific foods from her diet, her energy returned and the dangerous infection completely cleared. Food 1. Processed deli meats. That convenient deli turkey or ham sitting in your refrigerator right now could be hosting bacteria your immune system can no longer fight effectively. After 70, your body's natural defenses aren't what they were at 50 or 60, making you dramatically more vulnerable to serious foodborne infections that younger people might shake off with mild discomfort. What seems like a harmless sandwich ingredient becomes a genuine health threat when your immune response slows down with age. Research from the Centers for Disease Control shows that seniors are 10 times more likely to develop life-threatening listeria infections from processed deli meats compared to younger adults. This isn't speculation or exaggeration. It's documented medical fact from extensive CDC surveillance data tracking foodborne illness across all age groups. Listeria bacteria thrive in refrigerated environments and can multiply even in properly stored cold cuts, making them particularly dangerous for anyone over 70. The Mayo Clinic specifically warns that listeria causes severe illness requiring hospitalization, and in seniors with weakened immune systems, it can prove fatal within days of infection. Leonard, a 71-year-old retired mechanic from Dallas, spent 2 full weeks hospitalized after eating contaminated deli roast beef from his regular grocery store. He'd been buying the same brand for years without problems, but this time the bacteria overwhelmed his aging immune system. His doctors told him plainly that if he'd waited even 1 more day before seeking treatment, the outcome could have been far worse. The solution is remarkably simple and doesn't require giving up these foods entirely if you enjoy them. Switch to freshly cooked chicken or turkey that you prepare at home, where you control the cooking temperature and storage conditions completely. If you must buy deli meats, heat them to steaming hot, at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, before eating, which kills listeria bacteria effectively. Your immune system isn't what it was at 50, and pretending otherwise puts you at unnecessary risk. So make this change today before you become another statistic. Food 2. Raw or undercooked eggs. Do you enjoy eggs with runny yolks for breakfast, or homemade Caesar dressing made the traditional way with raw eggs? After 70, these seemingly innocent food choices could land you in the emergency room with severe salmonella poisoning that your body struggles to overcome. Your stomach acid production decreases significantly with age, removing one of your body's primary defenses against foodborne bacteria that younger people handle more easily. Johns Hopkins researchers have confirmed through multiple studies that seniors face dramatically higher risks of severe salmonella complications from raw or undercooked eggs. While a younger person might experience uncomfortable but manageable food poisoning symptoms, seniors frequently require hospitalization for dangerous dehydration and bacterial spread to the bloodstream. The infection hits harder, lasts longer, and creates complications that can affect your health for months after the initial illness. Joyce, a 68-year-old from Tampa, developed such severe dehydration from salmonella poisoning that she required 3 days of intravenous fluids in the hospital. Her illness started with eggs Benedict she'd ordered at Sunday brunch, where the hollandaise sauce contained undercooked egg yolks. She told her daughter later that she'd never imagined eggs could make her that sick, having eaten them prepared the same way for decades without problems. The fix couldn't be simpler or more straightforward. Cook all eggs until both the yolk and white are completely firm throughout, with no runny or liquid portions remaining anywhere. Avoid any foods containing raw eggs, including homemade mayonnaise, certain salad dressings, and traditional eggnog recipes that don't involve cooking. This one simple change eliminates a major source of foodborne illness that specifically targets people in your age group, so implement it starting with tomorrow's breakfast. Food 3. Unpasteurized soft cheeses. That gourmet cheese you bought at the farmer's market or specialty food shop might seem like a healthy, natural choice, but it could be harboring deadly listeria bacteria. Unpasteurized or raw milk cheeses are particularly dangerous because they skip the pasteurization process that kills harmful bacteria, leaving you vulnerable to serious infections your immune system may not handle effectively. Many people assume artisanal or specialty cheeses are somehow safer or healthier, but the opposite is often true for anyone over 70. The Mayo Clinic explicitly warns that unpasteurized cheeses cause serious listeria infections that are especially dangerous for seniors whose immune systems have naturally weakened with age. These bacteria can cause meningitis, bloodstream infections, and other severe complications requiring immediate hospitalization. Harvard Medical School researchers note that listeria from unpasteurized dairy products carries mortality rates as high as 20 to 30% in high-risk populations, which includes everyone over 70 regardless of overall health status. Vernon, a 73-year-old from Sacramento, developed bacterial meningitis after eating unpasteurized brie cheese at his daughter's dinner party. He spent nearly 3 weeks in the hospital receiving intensive treatment, and his doctors confirmed the infection came directly from the raw milk cheese. His recovery took months, and he still experiences fatigue and memory issues more than a year later. Always choose cheeses clearly labeled as made with pasteurized milk, which you'll find stated directly on the packaging. Read labels carefully before purchasing any soft cheeses like brie, camembert, feta, or blue cheese, as these are most likely to be sold in unpasteurized versions. If you're unsure about any cheese's pasteurization status, don't buy it or eat it. The risk simply isn't worth it, no matter how delicious it might taste. Check your refrigerator right now and throw out any cheese that doesn't explicitly state it's made from pasteurized milk. Food 4. Raw sprouts. You might think adding alfalfa sprouts or bean sprouts to your salad represents a healthy choice packed with nutrients and natural goodness. However, raw sprouts are actually one of the riskiest foods for anyone over 70, causing more serious bacterial outbreaks than almost any other type of produce. The warm, humid conditions required for sprouting seeds create the perfect environment for dangerous bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella to multiply rapidly. Harvard Medical School research shows that raw sprouts cause frequent food poisoning outbreaks, with seniors experiencing the most severe complications. The CDC has tracked dozens of major outbreaks linked to various types of raw sprouts over the past 2 decades. Unlike other produce that you can wash clean, sprouts harbor bacteria inside their structure where no amount of rinsing removes the contamination. Cleveland Clinic gastroenterologists specifically advise seniors to completely avoid raw sprouts due to the high risk of serious illness. Diane, a 69-year-old from Phoenix, contracted a severe E. coli infection from alfalfa sprouts she added to her sandwich at a popular health food restaurant. The infection led to acute kidney complications that required weeks of specialized medical treatment. She never imagined that something sold as a health food could cause such devastating illness. But her doctors explained that sprouts are notorious for causing exactly these types of infections in older adults. Completely eliminate raw sprouts from your diet starting immediately, alfalfa, bean, clover, and all other varieties. If you absolutely must have sprouts, cook them thoroughly until they're steaming hot throughout, which kills the bacteria effectively. Better yet, choose other crunchy vegetables like cucumber, bell peppers, or celery that provide similar texture without the infection risk. Your kidneys and digestive system can't afford to handle a serious E. coli infection at this stage of life, so stop eating raw sprouts today. Food 5. Grapefruit and grapefruit juice. This one surprises nearly everyone because grapefruit seems like a perfectly healthy citrus fruit packed with vitamin C and beneficial nutrients. However, grapefruit contains powerful compounds that interfere with how your body processes medications, potentially making them dangerously ineffective or toxic. If you take any regular medications, and most people over 70 take at least 2 or 3, grapefruit could be undermining your treatment or causing dangerous side effects without you realizing it. The Food and Drug Administration and Cleveland Clinic warn that grapefruit interferes with over 85 commonly prescribed medications, including many blood pressure drugs, cholesterol medications, and heart treatments. The fruit contains chemicals called furanocoumarins that block enzymes your body uses to break down medications, causing drug levels in your bloodstream to become either too high or too low. Johns Hopkins pharmacologists explain that even a single glass of grapefruit juice can affect medication levels for up to 24 hours, and the effects accumulate if you consume grapefruit regularly. Harold, a 74-year-old from Chicago, experienced dangerous blood pressure spikes and dizziness because grapefruit juice he drank every morning was blocking his blood pressure treatment from working properly. His doctor discovered the interaction during a routine checkup when his blood pressure readings were much higher than expected, despite taking his prescribed treatment regularly. Within days of eliminating grapefruit, his blood pressure stabilized and the dizziness disappeared completely. Switch immediately to oranges, apples, berries, or any other citrus fruit except grapefruit and Seville oranges, which have similar effects. Call your doctor or pharmacist today to ask specifically whether grapefruit interacts with any of your current treatments. If you've been eating grapefruit regularly while taking medications, stop now and schedule an appointment to review your treatment plan, as your dosages may need adjustment once the grapefruit is out of your system. Drink 1. Excessive alcohol. Even if you've enjoyed moderate drinking your entire adult life without problems, alcohol hits your body completely differently after 70. Your liver processes alcohol much more slowly than it did decades ago, and your body contains less water to dilute alcohol, meaning the same amount that barely affected you at 50 can now cause serious impairment. Additionally, many common health conditions and treatments interact dangerously with alcohol, creating risks you never faced when you were younger. Research from Johns Hopkins Medical School shows that seniors metabolize alcohol at roughly half the speed of younger adults, leading to prolonged impairment, dangerous falls, severe dehydration, and potentially fatal interactions with common treatments. The National Institute on Aging confirms that alcohol increases your risk of falls dramatically. And at 70, a fall can mean a hip fracture, lengthy hospitalization, and loss of independence. Beyond falls, alcohol interferes with balance, coordination, memory, and judgment, much more severely in older adults than younger people. Sylvia, a 72-year-old from Atlanta, fell and fractured her hip after drinking just 2 glasses of wine with dinner, an amount that had never caused her problems in the past. Her doctors explained that her balance was already slightly compromised by age, and the alcohol amplified that deficit enough to cause a serious fall. The hip fracture required surgery, months of rehabilitation, and she never fully regained her previous mobility. Limit alcohol consumption to special occasions only, and stay well below what you might have considered moderate drinking in the past. Never drink alcohol when taking any treatments, as interactions can be dangerous even if your doctor hasn't explicitly warned you. If you drink at all, have no more than one drink and always consume it with food, never on an empty stomach. Your balance, cognitive function, and overall safety depend on drastically reducing alcohol consumption now. Drink 2. Energy drinks. If you've been reaching for energy drinks to combat afternoon fatigue or stay alert during activities, you're putting your heart under dangerous stress it can't handle. Energy drinks contain massive amounts of caffeine, along with other stimulants that cause your heart to race, your blood pressure to spike, and your heart rhythm to become irregular. What might give a younger person a temporary energy boost can trigger serious cardiac events in anyone over 70. Cardiologists at the Mayo Clinic warn that energy drinks cause irregular heartbeats, dangerous blood pressure elevation, and increased risk of heart attacks in older adults. A single energy drink typically contains the caffeine equivalent of 4 to 5 cups of strong coffee, plus additional stimulants that amplify the cardiovascular stress. The American Heart Association specifically advises seniors to avoid energy drinks entirely due to documented cases of heart attacks, strokes, and sudden cardiac events triggered by these beverages. Eugene, a 67-year-old from Las Vegas, experienced severe chest pain and an irregular heartbeat after drinking an energy drink to stay alert during a long drive. Emergency room doctors confirmed the energy drink triggered a cardiac arrhythmia that required immediate treatment. His cardiologist told him bluntly that continuing to consume energy drinks could easily trigger a fatal heart attack given his age and cardiovascular health. Choose green tea or black tea for a gentle energy boost, which provides moderate caffeine without the dangerous stimulants found in energy drinks. Better yet, take a 15-minute walk when you feel tired, which increases alertness naturally without any cardiovascular stress. If you're experiencing persistent fatigue, see your doctor to check for underlying health issues rather than masking the problem with dangerous stimulants. Your heart simply cannot handle the stress these drinks create, so eliminate them completely starting today. Drink 3. Unpasteurized juices and ciders. That fresh squeezed orange juice from the farmer's market or unpasteurized apple cider from the orchard seems natural and healthy, but it could be contaminated with bacteria your weakened immune system cannot fight. Unpasteurized juices skip the heating process that kills harmful bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella, leaving you vulnerable to serious infections. Many people mistakenly believe that fresh, unpasteurized juice is somehow healthier than pasteurized versions, but for seniors, it's actually significantly more dangerous. The Centers for Disease Control confirms that unpasteurized juices cause serious E. coli and Salmonella outbreaks, with seniors experiencing the most severe complications, including kidney failure and bloodstream infections. The FDA requires warning labels on unpasteurized juices sold in stores, but farmers markets and roadside stands often sell these products without adequate warnings. Johns Hopkins infectious disease specialists note that seniors who contract foodborne illness from unpasteurized juice frequently require hospitalization and experience complications lasting weeks or months. Mildred, a 70-year-old from Portland, developed a severe intestinal infection requiring hospitalization after drinking unpasteurized apple cider she bought at a local orchard. The infection caused such severe dehydration that she needed several days of intravenous fluids and close medical monitoring. Her doctors confirmed the E. coli came directly from the unpasteurized cider and warned her that her age made the infection far more dangerous than it would have been for a younger person. Only purchase juices clearly labeled as pasteurized, which you'll find in the refrigerated section of grocery stores or in shelf-stable containers. Read labels carefully and look specifically for the word pasteurized before buying any juice or cider. If you're at a farmer's market or orchard, ask directly whether juice has been pasteurized, and if the answer is no or unclear, don't buy it regardless of how fresh or natural it appears. Your immune system's reduced effectiveness means you can't afford to take chances with unpasteurized beverages. Drink 4. Excessive coffee and caffeinated beverages. While 1 or 2 cups of coffee daily are generally safe, consuming more than that amount could be accelerating bone loss, disrupting the quality sleep you desperately need, and interfering with your body's ability to absorb essential nutrients. Caffeine affects your body differently at 70 than it did at 40, staying in your system longer and causing more pronounced side effects. Beyond the immediate jitters or sleep disruption, excessive caffeine consumption over time contributes to serious health problems that specifically affect older adults. Harvard Medical School researchers found that excessive caffeine intake accelerates bone calcium loss in seniors, significantly increasing your risk of osteoporosis and fractures. The National Osteoporosis Foundation confirms that high caffeine consumption interferes with calcium absorption and increases calcium excretion through urine. Additionally, caffeine consumed after noon can disrupt sleep patterns, even if you don't feel jittery, and poor sleep quality in seniors contributes to cognitive decline, increased fall risk, and numerous other health problems. Warren, a 71-year-old from Minneapolis, suffered a hip fracture that his doctor partly attributed to severe bone loss from drinking 6 cups of coffee daily for decades. His bone density scans showed significant osteoporosis, and his doctor explained that his excessive caffeine intake had contributed substantially to the problem by preventing his body from properly absorbing and retaining calcium. Limit coffee and other caffeinated beverages to 1 or at most 2 cups consumed before noon, giving your body time to process the caffeine before bedtime. Switch to decaffeinated coffee, herbal tea, or water for afternoon and evening beverages. If you currently drink more than 2 cups daily, reduce gradually over a week or 2 to avoid headaches, cutting back by 1 cup every few days. Your bones and sleep quality need this change immediately, so start reducing your caffeine intake tomorrow morning. Drink 5. Sugar-loaded sodas and sweet drinks. Every sugary soda or sweetened beverage you consume is actively accelerating inflammation throughout your entire body, damaging blood vessels, contributing to diabetes risk, and feeding chronic disease processes. The massive sugar dose in a typical soda or sweetened drink causes your blood sugar to spike dramatically, forcing your pancreas to work overtime and gradually wearing down your body's ability to regulate blood sugar effectively. For seniors whose systems are already less efficient at managing blood sugar, regular consumption of sugary drinks creates a dangerous cycle leading to serious health consequences. Multiple studies from Johns Hopkins University link regular soda consumption to dramatically increased diabetes risk, accelerated cognitive decline, heart disease progression, and systemic inflammation in older adults. The American Heart Association specifically warns that sugary drinks contribute more to heart disease and stroke risk than almost any other single dietary factor. Harvard researchers found that eliminating sugary drinks from the diet improves health markers within weeks, demonstrating how quickly your body responds positively to this change. Gladys, a 69-year-old from Denver, completely reversed her pre-diabetes diagnosis within 4 months of eliminating her 3 soda daily habit. Her doctor was thrilled with her blood sugar improvements and told her that continuing to drink sugary sodas would have led to full diabetes, requiring treatment within a year. She replaced the sodas with flavored sparkling water and told her friends she couldn't believe how much better she felt within just the first 2 weeks. Replace all sodas and sweetened drinks with water, unsweetened tea, or sparkling water with a squeeze of fresh lemon or lime for flavor. If you're addicted to the sweetness, use a gradual approach by cutting your soda consumption in half for 1 week, then in half again the following week until you've eliminated it completely. Don't switch to diet sodas as a solution. as artificial sweeteners create their own health problems. Just eliminate sweet drinks entirely. Your blood sugar, heart health, and overall inflammation levels will improve dramatically within weeks of making this single change. Meal 1. Buffet food left at room temperature. That potato salad sitting out for hours at your church, potluck or family gathering could cause serious food poisoning that takes weeks to recover from at your age. Bacteria multiply incredibly rapidly in food left at room temperature, doubling every 20 minutes under the right conditions. And your reduced immune function means even moderate bacterial contamination can cause severe illness. What younger people might dismiss as minor food poisoning becomes a serious medical event requiring hospitalization when you're over 70. The United States Department of Agriculture and Centers for Disease Control warn that bacteria like Staphylococcus and Salmonella thrive in food left between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which is exactly where buffet foods sit during most gatherings. After just 2 hours at room temperature, bacterial counts in foods like potato salad, deviled eggs, and meat dishes can reach dangerous levels. For seniors with weakened immune systems, the CDC specifically recommends avoiding any food that's been sitting out, as the infection risk far outweighs the social awkwardness of skipping certain dishes. Norman, a 73-year-old from Birmingham, spent 8 days hospitalized with severe salmonella poisoning after eating coleslaw left out for several hours at a family reunion. The infection caused such extreme dehydration and weakness that he required round-the-clock medical care. His doctors explained that his age made the infection far more dangerous, and that if he'd waited even a few more hours before seeking treatment, the outcome could have been considerably worse. Only eat food that's been kept properly hot, above 140 degrees, in warming trays, or cold, below 40 degrees, on ice or in refrigeration at gatherings. If you're uncertain how long something has been sitting out, simply don't eat it, regardless of social pressure or how delicious it looks. Politely fill your plate with items you know are safe, and nobody will question your choices or notice what you're skipping. At your next gathering, protect yourself by choosing carefully and remembering that no dish is worth spending a week in the hospital. Meal 2. Leftover rice, kept too long. Most people don't know this, but improperly stored leftover rice harbors a specific bacteria called Bacillus cereus that causes severe vomiting, diarrhea, and dangerous dehydration that hits seniors especially hard. Unlike other bacteria that cooking kills effectively, Bacillus cereus produces heat-resistant spores that survive cooking and then multiply rapidly when cooked rice sits at room temperature or is stored too long in the refrigerator. Once these bacteria reach high levels, even thorough reheating won't make the rice safe to eat. Food safety experts at the Mayo Clinic warn that Bacillus cereus poisoning causes rapid onset illness, usually within 1 to 5 hours of eating contaminated rice, with severe vomiting and diarrhea that can quickly lead to dangerous dehydration. The Cleveland Clinic notes that seniors are particularly vulnerable to serious complications because the sudden fluid loss can trigger heart rhythm problems, kidney stress, and severe weakness. While younger people often recover from Bacillus cereus poisoning within 24 hours, seniors frequently require medical intervention and longer recovery times. Beverly, a 68-year-old from Seattle, developed severe vomiting and dehydration, requiring emergency room treatment after eating 3-day-old fried rice from her refrigerator. The illness hit so suddenly and severely that she became dangerously dehydrated within hours. Emergency room doctors confirmed Bacillus cereus poisoning and explained that the rice had been stored too long, allowing bacterial spores to multiply to dangerous levels. Refrigerate all cooked rice immediately after cooking, ideally within 1 hour and never longer than 2 hours at room temperature. Use refrigerated rice within 24 hours maximum, and if you're unsure when you cooked it, throw it out without tasting it. Always reheat leftover rice to steaming hot throughout before eating, though reheating won't help if the rice is too old. Check your refrigerator right now and discard any rice older than 1 day, as the risk of serious illness simply isn't worth the minimal cost of wasted food. Meal 3. Raw oysters and undercooked shellfish. Raw oysters might be a delicacy at fancy restaurants, but for anyone over 70, they're potentially deadly due to Vibrio bacteria that thrive in coastal waters where oysters grow. These bacteria cause life-threatening bloodstream infections in high-risk individuals, with mortality rates approaching 50% in seniors. Even if you've eaten raw oysters for years without problems, your changing immune system means what was once safe is now extremely dangerous. The Food and Drug Administration warns explicitly that Vibrio bacteria in raw shellfish cause severe illness and death, with seniors facing the highest risk of fatal complications. The bacteria enter your bloodstream through your digestive system, causing sepsis, a whole-body infection requiring immediate intensive care. Johns Hopkins infectious disease specialists note that Vibrio infections progress extremely rapidly, and many seniors die within 24 to 48 hours of eating contaminated shellfish despite aggressive medical treatment. Arthur, a 70-year-old from New Orleans, required 10 days in intensive care after eating raw oysters at a restaurant he'd patronized safely for years. The Vibrio infection caused septic shock, dangerously low blood pressure, and multiple organ stress. His doctors told his family that his survival was uncertain for the first 3 days, and that many patients his age don't survive these infections even with the best medical care available. Only eat thoroughly cooked shellfish from now on. Shrimp, oysters, clams and mussels cooked until shells open fully and the flesh is completely opaque throughout. Skip raw oyster bars entirely, regardless of the restaurant's reputation or how fresh they claim the oysters are. If you're dining out and uncertain whether shellfish is fully cooked, send it back and order something else. Never eat raw shellfish again. The risk of a fatal infection is simply too high to justify any momentary culinary pleasure. Meal 4. Rare or undercooked meat. That pink center in your steak or burger could harbor E. coli bacteria, parasites, or other pathogens that your weakened immune system cannot fight effectively. Ground meat is especially dangerous because bacteria from the surface gets mixed throughout during grinding, meaning undercooked burgers or meatballs have contamination distributed everywhere rather than just on the surface. While a younger person might fight off foodborne illness from undercooked meat with a few uncomfortable days, seniors face severe complications, including kidney failure, bloodstream infections, and lengthy hospitalizations. Cleveland Clinic gastroenterologists confirm that seniors face significantly higher risks of severe complications from undercooked meat, including hemolytic uremic syndrome, a type of kidney failure that requires dialysis and can become permanent. The USDA establishes safe cooking temperatures based on preventing bacterial survival, and these temperatures become even more critical for older adults whose immune systems can't provide backup protection. Harvard Medical School researchers emphasize that proper meat cooking isn't about taste preferences, but about preventing serious illness. Lorraine, a 71-year-old from Colorado Springs, developed a serious E. coli infection requiring 2 weeks of hospitalization after eating a medium-rare burger at a summer barbecue. The infection attacked her kidneys, causing temporary kidney failure that required daily monitoring and specialized treatment. Her nephrologist explained that her age made her particularly vulnerable to these complications, and that eating fully cooked meat would have prevented the entire ordeal. Always cook ground meat to 160 degrees Fahrenheit throughout, with no pink remaining anywhere in the meat. Cook steaks, roasts and chops to at least 145 degrees, measured with a meat thermometer inserted into the thickest part. Buy an instant read meat thermometer today if you don't already own one, and use it every single time you cook any type of meat. Your kidneys and digestive system can't afford the risk of serious infection from undercooked meat. So make proper cooking temperatures non-negotiable, starting with tonight's dinner. Meal 5. Meals with excessive salt. High-sodium meals are silently destroying your cardiovascular health, driving up blood pressure, forcing your heart to work harder, and dramatically increasing your stroke risk, even if you feel perfectly fine right now. Your kidneys become less efficient at eliminating excess sodium as you age, meaning salt affects you more severely at 70 than it did at 40. Additionally, many common health conditions become worse with high sodium intake, and the cumulative effect of years of excessive salt consumption finally catches up with you in your 70s. The American Heart Association confirms that excessive sodium dramatically increases stroke risk, heart failure risk, and kidney disease progression in older adults. Harvard Medical School researchers found that reducing sodium intake lowers blood pressure within days and reduces cardiovascular event risk within weeks. The National Kidney Foundation warns that high sodium intake accelerates kidney function decline, which is particularly concerning since kidney function naturally decreases with age, even without dietary sodium stress. Clayton, a 72-year-old from Rochester, was able to work with his doctor to adjust his blood pressure treatment after drastically cutting sodium from his daily meals. Within 6 weeks of cooking at home with minimal salt and avoiding processed foods, his blood pressure dropped significantly. His doctor was impressed with the improvement and explained that many patients never achieve this level of blood pressure control even with strong treatments. But Clayton accomplished it primarily through sodium reduction. Cook meals at home using herbs, spices, lemon juice, and vinegar for flavor instead of salt, which provides taste without cardiovascular risks. Avoid processed frozen meals, canned soups, deli meats, and restaurant foods, which contain massive amounts of hidden sodium. Read nutrition labels carefully and choose products with less than 300 milligrams of sodium per serving whenever possible. Starting with your very next meal, cut your typical salt use in half, and your heart, blood pressure, and kidneys will respond positively within days. You now know the 15 foods, drinks, and meals that pose genuine dangers after 70, backed by research from the CDC, Mayo Clinic, Harvard Medical School, Johns Hopkins, and other major medical institutions. These aren't just suggestions or guidelines. They're evidence-based recommendations that could prevent serious illness, lengthy hospitalizations, or even save your life. The simple swaps and safety steps I've shared require minimal effort, but deliver maximum protection for your health, allowing you to enjoy your 70s and beyond with strength and vitality, instead of battling preventable infections and complications. If you've made it this far, please hit that like button right now, subscribe to this channel so you never miss crucial health information that affects you directly, and share this video with anyone you know over 70. These changes could genuinely save their life. Drop a comment telling me which of these 15 surprised you most, or share which ones you've already eliminated from your diet and how much better you feel. Let's protect ourselves and each other by sharing knowledge that actually works and making the smart changes that keep us healthy and independent.